This is just going to be a short stream. I just thought I'd want to update on um, it's almost a week now from when I processed a major trauma, and I want to update on what I'm feeling and what it's been like over the last 6 days. Um, it's been difficult. It's been painful, very sad, a lot of sadness. A lot of reflection. There's, I've been told about and taught about, um, contacting the inner child and speaking to your inner child. And I've done that a few times, and it's been pretty painful doing that because it brings me back to what it was like. How you going, Happy Hermit? I'm not really going to be chatting much in this stream. I'm just doing a quick update on stuff. I'm glad you're here. So it's been productive. I think it's working. I think it is working. But because this is one of the major ones, I knew that there would be a lot that was associated with it. And so I've still got pain on my leg, even though I've had a shower. I didn't scrub my leg. Yeah, pain is the main thing. And sadness. I've had all these emotions. And I've had insomnia, which I've spoken about. And that's still, I think the insomnia started in the lead up to this. And it's starting to, I don't know when it's going to end. But I'm thankful that I've gotten to this point and done what I did as far as finalizing and processing something that has been there for so long. And for me, the biggest thing was how much this was one of the major or the major traumas for me, because it affected my development and it affected relationships and trust. And I in a recent stream, someone said to me, asked me a question, how was it that you weren't able to speak to people? And I said, I felt like my voice was taken away from me. And that's what I felt like happened with this trauma, is that I couldn't speak about it. And it was never to be spoken of. So it was something that I had to just keep inside. And that was very painful, and it still is painful. But I think now that I'm letting it go, I'll be able to not have that, there anymore. I'm in this sort of limbo. I'm in a limbo state at the moment. I don't know where things are going to go with it. But this is a trauma that I've had confirmation from several sources, validating my situation. There's no question of whether these events took place or not. There's no question of that at all. The fact that I can't speak of it, and I don't speak in details about my stuff here. I'm not talking in details. I'm just talking about how I'm moving on from and how I'm healing from. But it was such a major thing for me, and that's why when I tried speaking to the inner child, that was very confronting for me, because I could see, I was reaching out and I could see my younger self, and I could see the pain I was in. And it's also been confronting, in reading books about trauma where they talk about children with childhood depression. And, I was one of those people, children, that, there was times when throughout my childhood where I didn't want to live, which is very sad. I didn't want to exist. And a lot of it was due to these. There was several traumas, but I'm letting all this go now. And this is one of the main points I wanted to make, is that what I've been thinking about in the last week, well, it's almost a week, it's 6 days. The main things I've been thinking about is I've been thinking about how much it's affected everything, and how much, like, not just one thing, it's affected my whole life, like all aspects of my whole life, my development, um, relationships, trust, um, the ability to speak to people, because I felt like I couldn't speak about it, and um, I've I've thought about all the lost time. So and that's something you can't dwell on, and that's something I can't dwell on. I can't dwell on the fact that I've lost. It's only now that I'm letting go of this, and I've tried to let go of this many times over the years, and I couldn't. It would always keep coming back, and um, hopefully that this time it's actually going to be a finalization of letting go, and that um, I can move on now. You know, um, and in order to do that and to function and thrive and do all the things I want to do now, is I've got to say I'm made it to here and now, and I'm not going to think about all that time that was lost. The fact that it destroyed my education and development and relationships and happiness and trust, all of these things that were affected by this thing. And I can't think about that. I can't dwell on it. And I have been, in the last 6 days, it's popped up a few times where it's just been there, and I've just thought about how much pain there is. And I'd feel it, and I'd also be thinking about it at the same time. And so maybe that's a good thing. I was processing that, and so I'm letting it go. I'm still letting it go. It's not like it happened last week, where there was this processing and then moving on. It's still very fresh and tender, and it could be a couple of weeks where I've got this very tender, vulnerable emotion state going on. Um, it's bringing up all of these memories, and um, then they're not shocking me, because it's also bringing up good memories as well. So that's a good sign. I'm optimistic about that, and I'm positive towards that. Now that I can actually move on and let go, I can start to think about the good times that I had growing up. So that's a big thing. But I can't dwell on this lost time, because if I did, I would, you know, and it's the same with all the other ones, because this is the other thing that I had got stuck with in the last week. A few times I had the thought that if this thing didn't happen to me, or this thing didn't happen, because it didn't just happen to me, it happened to other people as well. If this thing didn't happen, would have the other things have happened to me that happened later? And that's not a good thing to think about, because when you think about that, that can be bad, because it can send you down, because that would actually compound the pain. It's like, well, if this didn't happen, then none of these things would have happened. I can't think about that. I can't think about that. I've just got to move on and not not dwell on the past, because that's what I have been doing for so long, and it's been eating away at me and causing so much pain. So if I can just stop doing that, that will be a big thing. And it has been something. And so they were the main things that happened in this week. I tried reaching out to the inner child, and that was painful, because I could see myself as a child, and the pain I was going through, and the sadness and the melancholy. And I had the dwelling on the lost time, and then I kept saying to myself, no, stop doing that. It's not good thinking to do that, because you're trying to let go and move on. How can you move on and let go if you're going to dwell on the fact that you've lost all this time? Be thankful that you've got health and you're living and you've got a future. So that was what brought me back in those situations. But the same train of thought was, if this didn't happen, would have the other things happened to me? And would have my whole life would have been different? I can't dwell on that. It's life. It's in the past now. It can't be changed. The only thing that can happen is I can be in the present and move towards the future. So yeah, everything's very tender at the moment and very painful, and I've still got insomnia, but I do feel like it has worked. I've been testing it out. I've been going through the memories, and not just the um, concentrated memories associated. I was been going through um, extended timeline after, and I've been uh, reflecting on it, and allowing the thoughts to be there, and to observe the thoughts, and to not actually allow the thoughts to although I have felt the pain from it, but this is what's happened is that the pain and the sadness have just been there, and they've just emerged at times throughout the day, and just been very, like, very sharp and very strong. When I've been going through the thinking process and testing out whether I'm getting triggered or re-traumatized by actually going through the thinking of it, um, I've been consciously been keeping it at a distance, and of just observing it, and not allowing myself to be taken over by the thoughts and the feelings. So I'm not resisting it. The whole point of testing it out to see if it's actually working is you have to, like, see if it's actually hurting you anymore. And it still is. But what I'm able to do is I'm able to just think about it, and it's not taking me over. It's not taking over my whole body like it used to in the past. and I'm not getting stuck on endless um, thought train loops of agony. I really think it's working. So I am very grateful that it has at this stage. I think that I have let go. I think it's working, and I've got another couple of weeks of tenderness where pain will be emerging, and I've just got to accept that. And I feel like it is the start of a new chapter in my life, that I can now let go of this thing that has been there for most most of my life. And um, yeah, so that's all I really have for today. I see the hearts flying up in the sky. We've got some people in the chat. How you going, Happy Hermit and Noah? I'm not, I've it's a this is like a quick update on, like, because I processed a major trauma last week, and I'm just updating on how I'm going. So it's I think it's worked. I think it's worked. I just I still have a few weeks of it re-emerging, but I feel like the biggest thing that I'm dealing with is the sadness. It's like a sadness. So Homer says, "Yeah, good chat. Hope you have a relaxing day. Thank you." I'm going. I see. Look, I'm going to be relaxed, I think, after this, and hopefully tonight I get to sleep at a reasonable hour. Like, I think my insomnia is going to start easing. So I'm I'm really grateful that I've got to this point, and that's why I wanted to do this update. Is that this is a major thing for me, and it has been such a major thing to get to this point. And now I can let this go and move on. It's is still There are still going to be difficulties in things associated with it, but I know in myself, you know, there's no question about anything. Um, I've already had vindication and validation in regards to this, and it's something that I've never been able to speak about. So, and I'll never speak about it. I don't have to speak about it anymore. I don't have to think about it anymore. I can just put it in the past, and I can put all my focus and attention to the present and think about the future, but put my focus in the present. And I've still got a lot of work to do. I'm only still at the beginning of this healing process, but I've gotten through the heavy stuff now. I've only got a couple of more heavy um, experiences that I've got to go through, and that'll be in the next 2 weeks. And then after that, I will be clear of the bulk of my traumas, and then I can just focus on healing after that point. So I'm really happy. It might not look happy. I might not look happy. I've got no smile on my face, but I am happy that I'm here now, and I've got to this point, and I can now move forward. And I have let go. I feel like I've let go of this, and I think I've done it in a considerate way. So that's something that I feel like I've done the right thing about how I've gone about this, because it's very private and personal to me. and that's what it is. But I have to let it go, and it's gone. It's gone. So just thank you everyone for being here and giving me support in this. And um, there's only good things now. Only goodness for the future is like there's positivity. I feel optimistic and positive towards the future, which is a big thing. And I've got a lot of work to do. I know I do. So and this was just going to be a short stream. So I'm sorry everyone. I'm going to end the stream here. But thank you for being here. And you know it means a lot to me. And thank you, Noah. Thank you so much. Uh, things are going to get better now. I think things are going to get better now. I've still got a lot of pain to go through, but it's going to get better. So I appreciate everyone who is here giving me support, and everyone in my life that's given me support. So I'm just going to keep working on this, and like I said, I am happy for the future. There's no smile on my face, but there is a smile inside my heart. So it's been a big week, and I'm glad to have gotten to this point. So things are going to be getting better from now on, I think. So I'm going to end this here. Thank you all. Goodbye.